friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to share a flip through of my second volume of foundation pages for December Daily 2021. If you have not yet seen my volume 1 flip through, in addition to my approach for December Daily 2021, I will leave a link up at the eye for you to go and check out that video first so that you have a clearer picture for how I'm going to be telling my stories this year, and then you can see the first half of my pages come to life, and then in this video we're going to go through the second half of my pages. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get this puppy open, and flip through these pages. So volume 2, for now, I don't have anything on the inside cover like I did for volume 1. I do, however, have this wood veneer ornament that I purchased from Michaels that I'm debating putting inside the cover, but I'm going to leave that for later to figure out if that's really what I want to do there. I am going to open up with a second title page. For this one, my plan is to print a photo of our family at the full size outside of the page protector size. And then I have these two banners which were a free download inside of the December Daily Prep Party for 2021. I printed them off nice and small, cut them out, and turned them into this little banner, which I'm planning to adhere to the top of the photo. So there'll be a photo underneath the banner pieces there. When I do that, I will adhere them down a little bit better so the flags don't keep coming up, which is what they're doing right now. But for now, it's okay like this, and then we'll make it a little bit more stable once we get to volume 2 in December. Then we're going to jump right into story number 16. So story number 16 is going to be the prompt, I dislike Christmas because ... And my plan is to talk about 5 different things about the Christmas season that I don't particularly love. What I've got for this is the Ali Edwards pattern paper that had the red dot grid. Then I took a couple of or 6 to be exact, of the transparency circles from the 2020 release, and I stitched them onto the page here at the bottom. My plan is to either print or type out on my typewriter the 5 things that I quote unquote dislike about Christmas and add those on top of the transparencies with some adhesive, just kind of like tiny phrase strips. Then I've got this Tim Holtz frame. This was a frames and baseboards, I believe is what it was called, from last year. I added a card to the inside of the frame that says this season isn't always merry and bright, and that's okay. This is from either last year or the year before's collection, and I have December 16 up at the top. My plan is to either adhere this down permanently at the top of the page and add my journaling underneath, or if there is a story or a photo that I want to document, I can also make this into a flip-up element by adding my text on the back, so I could handwrite in my journaling, add this on the back, and then put an oval photo underneath, or vice versa. Have this be what's on the bottom, the photo on the top, and then this would cover up the words when it's flipped down. So for now, I'm leaving that up to December 16th to figure out, how do I want this page to look in the end. Then for story number 17, after I put this away here, story number 17, I scrap lifted from Pashka. I'm sure I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was one of the instructors for the Product Play Back to Basics class, and she did this really awesome tag that had a spinner on the inside. So what I'm planning to do is to use her page to talk about Hallmark movies. I love Hallmark movies, and I want to tell the story about watching Hallmark movies and why I love them so much. So my plan is to add some journaling here on the outside of the tag, my acrylic piece here at the top. This is from Colorcast Designs, and then an older Colorcast Designs number here at the bottom. And then the wheel is going to hold photos of the Hallmark or Hallmark-ish type of movies that I watched this season. So there will be 4 of them here. Now on the back side of this tag, I can do the same thing and have 4 more photos, or I could add some journaling about what I thought about the 4 different movies that I watched. And then I'm planning to take a flat lay photo of all of the things I have related to Hallmark Christmas movies and making this a full page photo on the back of the tag. So that is going to be story 17. The prompt being, are you a Hallmark movie watcher, and why or why not? Story number 18 is a layout that I scrap lifted from Amy Gretchen. This would have been from the Product Play 3, I believe, where they did hexagons. So in this one, she made this little envelope, like pocket that you could put stuff inside of, and it's got a hexagon window here on the outside. For this one, I want to document our gingerbread houses, but I'm actually going to journal this story in a slightly different way. My prompt being, what would it be like to live in a gingerbread house? So inside of this pocket, I'm going to store some different elements that I could tell my story with. So I have a tag, I have this merry making journaling card, and then I also have this cute little house cut file from Paige Evans that I went ahead and made, so I can add that onto a card or onto a photo or onto something if I want to. And then I will also add in photos to complete this layout. The back side of the envelope, I may add a photo to the back of it, or I may just let it be the back of an envelope and not mind that at all. So that is story number 18. Story number 19 is going to be my answer to the question of whether or not I used to peek at my presents when I was a child. For this one, I made an outside piece that's going to look like a present with a tag here. It's a vellum tag that says don't open, no peeking, and the number 19. I also added on one of these pleather bows that I got. This was a hair bow for a little girl. I ripped off the clip portion and then used it as an embellishment. And then I've got some ribbon tied or stitched down onto the paper to look like a present. When this flips open, and you can see that the holes are cut so that they can actually go around the rings here without being stuck on them. So the way this will work is this is going to open up, and on the inside I will have journaling on one side. I've got a wood veneer piece that I like here. I'm going to add a digital stamp that says the best gift, possibly put a tiny phrase sticker there, and then have this be a photo of our 2021 gifts. I always include photos of the wrapping paper and the presents, so this is a good place for me to add those photos in for this year. So that's going to be story number 19. Story number 20, I am using the prompt, who made Christmas extra special in your family? So for this one, the answer is very easy. It was my grandmother. And my grandmother was also a very crafty lady when she was alive. And I loved this page idea from Kelly Ishmael, which this was from the original Product Play class, the very first one. So she made this heart by patchworking together multiple patterns. And I wanted to do the same thing because that made me think of my grandmother. I'm planning to put my number 20 here at the top of this 3x8 page, and I'll add my journaling underneath. And then over here, I may add some tiny little photos of my grandma inside of the heart on the squares. I believe those would have to be about 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. So they're going to be itty bitty tiny. And I just have to decide if that's what I want to do, or if I make this a no photo type of layout and just let the words do the talking. We'll see when we get to day 20 what feels right for this story. Day 21 is going to be about the holiday sweets and treats that we've been making throughout the season. For this one, I knew I wanted to use a transparency and have it go on both sides of the transparency, and therefore I needed something to go with it. I made this quote page, which this is a Charlie Brown quote that to me seemed to go very well with the grandmother story, that it's not what's under the tree that matters, it's who's around it. This is probably my least favorite page that I have prepped this December. But even in its imperfection, I still really love it. So I took a piece of pattern paper, I added some gesso white paint on top, then I stamped out the quote, and I stamped the quote crooked, and that's why it bothers me, is just because it's crooked. So to help balance it out, I added in some presents and some trees and some just stuff. I just added a lot of stuff onto this page. And it's really fun and graphic, so there is that. It's a little bit whimsical, and that goes with Christmas pretty well, so I'm okay with that. For day 21, I am using Jess Forrester's idea. So this is the Sweets and Treats. She did a page where she showed how to use these pockets by adding some embellishments to the bottom. And then she typed out a recipe and put the photo of the recipe on the back. So I'm planning to do that as well for the different things that we bake this Christmas season. We have a bunch of recipes that are family traditions for the Christmas season. So I've got 2 on this side, and then this will flip over, and then the other 2 will be on the back side. I figured why not just go ahead and use 4 of them, get all of them down and in my album this year. Story number 22 is one that's going to be a little bit more labor intensive, but that is okay. I'm not going to pull all of it out because there's just a lot of moving pieces to it, but I'll pull a little bit, and that way you can kind of see what this is going to look like. Story 22 is going to be an A to Z of Christmas scavenger hunt with my family. So what I want to do is to spend one of our days going around our house and looking for things that we have Christmas related that start with every letter of the alphabet. I have created these 1 inch by 1.5 inch rectangles that will hold the story and the photo underneath. So these will all flip up, that's why it's going to be kind of labor intensive when we get here. And then in the middle, I will add my 22 and possibly an A and a Z. So it's like A to Z, although A to Z, but it still makes sense to me. So you can see a little bit better what this will look like when it's done. I do have a very quick sketch that I can show you. So I'm really excited about this one. I think it'll be a great way to get the family involved. I think it'll be a great way to see where Christmas is throughout our house during this December season. Really looking forward to it. For the paper, I used both the main kit and the add-on paper pack. And then I have these chipboard alphabet stickers from last year that I went ahead and used A through Z and then stitched them on just to keep it all nice and secure. Story number 23 is going to be about a holiday event that we are hosting this year. We actually host it every year, called Christmas Adam. For this one, I combined 2 different ideas from Allie Edwards from the Product Play 2 class. The left side here is just to signify the day that I'm documenting. So this is day 23, which I've gold embossed, and then I used red and green. This is the Redwoods and the Mackenzie inks from Allie to stamp the rest of the random numbers on the page. Then on the right-hand side, I'm going to include a photo here, a 6x4 photo, and then possibly another 2x2 photo here, or some kind of embellishment. And then I've got the who, what, where, when, and why that I will fill out to actually tell the story of that day. This was another idea from the Product Play 2 class as well, from Allie. Story number 24 is my Christmas Eve story. This year for Christmas Eve, I'm going to rewrite the Night Before Christmas poem and tell it as though it is the night before Christmas for our family. So to throw in some things that we are doing to celebrate the night before Christmas. On the left-hand side, I have room for lots of photos or embellishments, whatever I choose. And the right-hand side is the project that I did for Back to Basics Product Play this year. and it's an interactive fireplace. So on the outside, it's just a fireplace, and then this portion pulls up to reveal journaling. I can possibly put another photo or more journaling on the back, and then the bottom has my Night Before Christmas title there, which I love since that's what my story is going to be. Story number 25 is Christmas. This year for Christmas, I am actually going to tell about our day using the 5 senses. So for this one, I'm using an idea from Linda from the Back to Basics class, and I'm going to have a flip out. So Christmas is only going to be on this side of the page. What I'm planning to do is have this piece right here flip out, and then I will have this other circle on the back side that has the 25, which I will also stitch onto its page. My journaling will go around the 25, and this will be one large photo from the day. And that's going to be Christmas Day. The 26th of December, I'm going to document our elf. Every year we have an elf who comes to stay with us from December 1st through the 24th, and her name is Mary. For this one, I used the idea from Virginie in the Back to Basics class, and I created this folio. So the ribbon unties and this portion opens. In here, I'm going to have a waterfall of photos. So it'll be kind of like a whole bunch of these for telling about her photos and where she was found and what we did that day, sort of a deal. So it'll be kind of like this, where you'll see the patterns, and then when you flip it up, you'll see the photos and journaling underneath. So that's how I am envisioning that portion. Then for the pocket over here, I can use tags, I can put in ephemera, I can add in her goodbye note to the kids, or whatever feels right to put inside of that little pocket portion. But that is my Mary folio, and I love that this gave me ample space for telling all of those stories. It'll be a really cute way to keep all of those memories, right? Okay. So there is the Mary folio. Day 27 is one that I am challenging. Well, I should say I've had a few people in the community challenge me to do, and that is to have one page, one story in my album, totally unplanned. So for now, I have a no plan day, which is this one, day 27, where I'm just going to tell a random story from the day and figure it out from there. Now I do have some parameters. I have day 28 already set up. So I could use the back side of day 28 here. I could use the back side of the folio in order to have it go over 2 separate days, or I could make it something totally different. You know, we'll see when that day comes. For day 28, I am using Carrie's idea from the Back to Basics class to talk about whether I am a warm weather person or a cold weather person or somewhere in between. For this one, I have the circle page. This to me felt a lot like snow, so I created some white embossed snowflakes on vellum to put in there, and then the rest of these spots will be filled in with story and photos. And then I've also pulled out 2 separate 28 numbers that will go down in the bottom. I just haven't decided if I'm going to do the plastic 28 or the token 28, but one of those will go there. For day 29, I am going to document the things that I want to remember about my year of life as a 33-year-old. The 29th of December is my birthday, and I will be turning 34 this year, and I thought that this would be a great way to document that. So what I did is I cut out this file that says what I want to remember. This was from, I believe, also Product Play 2. It was a download included with that class. So I cut that out on a 3x8, so it would only take up half of the page. And then I added this 29, which is an acrylic piece, well, acrylic pieces from Color Cast Designs. Then I used Jenny Terrio's idea here, which are these little gift packages that you can untie and open up, and underneath them I will include photos and journaling talking about things that I want to remember. Now, these could be photos from my actual birthday and what we do to celebrate. They could be photos from the whole year, and the journaling could be a mixture of both as well. And then all you have to do is tie these little packages back up with a nice little bow here. I have 3 on the front. Oh, I missed. I have 3 on the front side and I have 3 on the back side. So the whole piece has some star vellum running through it. That includes behind the cut file as well. So in between this, you can actually see some of that star poking through. And in order to finish it on the back, I did print a mirror version of it so that I could have that finished. And then there are 3 more of those packages to open. Day number 30 is going to be a story about gratitudes. So 6 things that I am grateful for in the year 2021. For this one, I used an idea from Allie Edwards. This was from Product Play 2. And I created these tags that have this and that heart full of gratitude, and then I will add my journaling underneath all of those tags. For the main piece, I added in a piece of transparency that I cut down to a tag, and then added this number 30 to the star and this merry and bright tag, and then called that good. My last story is going to be number 31, which is a goodbye to my 2021 one little word embrace, which is why I picked this card that says embracing, and a hello to whatever word I pick for 2022. The backside will hold a photo with the 2022 word, most likely me holding a token that looks something like this, and it'll have whatever my new word is on it. And then I have a whole bunch of different 31s pulled out because I don't know what's going to go best. So for now, I'm just holding on to them all. The last thing that you see here in this album is going to be a little pocket folio that will hold any Christmas cards we receive in the mail this year. So what I did is I followed Morgan Beal's tutorial for creating her folio using the December Daily box, but I altered it slightly so that it could actually be a pocket instead of a folio, and then the string will help to hold all of the pieces in there. I made this little cluster kind of like hers because I loved what hers looked like, and then I adhered the entire thing down onto the back of my album, so that's just part of the album now, and that is going to be that. All right, friends, so that is volume 2 of my foundation pages. I'm very excited to get to documenting. Today is November 30th, so we actually start tomorrow. I will be creating my pages live over on my Patreon, and then I will be sharing the edited version of those videos on YouTube as I am able. So likely they will be clustered together a couple days at a time. If you have any questions about my foundation pages, the stories I'm telling, anything to do with December Daily or just crafting in general, please let me know in the comments section down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. I also wanted to mention that I will have a blog post accompanying this video. So any of the specific links to the product play classes, the people that I have scrap lifted, the products that I have used for the different pages, all of that can be found on the blog post. I'll put a link to it up at the eye, and I will also have a link to it down in the description box below. So be sure to check there for additional images and information and all of that. Well, if you have enjoyed this flip through, I would love a thumbs up on the video down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you can catch all of my future crafty videos. Until next time, I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope that your December goes off with a bang and that you just get to experience all the magic this season has in store for you. Until then, have a great one, friends. Bye now.
We wish you